Good evening. My name's Doug Wilson, and this is Yellow Hawk Customs Outdoors. I thought what I would do is revisit another video that I did quite a while back where I showed the knives that I have that are my designs built by different knife makers, right? And most of these knives that you're going to see on this video are still available from these makers. So if you guys stay tuned, I'm going to show you a bunch of knives and sheath systems and then talk about them a little bit. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Okay, so let's start with the one that's on my neck, okay? And I'm just generally going to show you and talk about it a little bit, okay? Okay, this is the knife, okay? This knife here is 80 CRV2, I believe. Some of these knives were built a couple years ago, a few years ago, so sometimes I don't remember the steel that I use, but you can bet it's a nice steel for that knife. This is called the Little Hawk Necker, right? Little Hawk Necker. And so I don't have to hit you with a whole bunch of details and specs. Just look at it in my hand. It's a pretty small knife. 2 3/4 inch blade, right? Also a skinner. This thing will skin. That's why I like those belly blades, especially in small ones, where when you go to field dress a deer, any animal in the field, you don't want a huge knife, especially if it's a smaller animal. You want something you can wield efficiently. So this is one of those knives. Plus, it's cool looking. It's a neat looking knife. All right. This is green elder burl. Got some mosaic pins. Now, this one was made by Brian Sells at English Mountain Knives. Okay. But he doesn't make it anymore. This one is now being made by Joshua Blankenship at Ankura Knife Company. Okay. So real quick, the way it works is you contact the knife maker and you say, hey, I saw Doug's design in blah, 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 right? A magazine or a YouTube channel or whatever, right? I saw it and I would like to have this knife, the Little Hawk Necker. And you and him will talk about building one. You can pick the scales. There's a reason why I work with certain knife makers, okay? And Joshua Blankenship is really good at what he does. Okay, number one, he doesn't take a whole lot of time getting the knife to you, right? And he does a lot of different things, right? He has a lot of different scale materials, a lot of different steels. See, a lot of knife makers only work with a limited number of steels, a limited number of handle materials, because that's their comfort zone. Well, his comfort zone has expanded over the last few years, okay? Just go to his website, www.anchoraknife.com. Pretty sure that's it. Okay? So this is a Little Hawk Necker. Okay? Now, Brian polished this one off. I'm not really into polished blades, but I do have a polishing setup that I can polish blades with. So if you have a polished knife that comes to me and you want it back super polished, I can do it for you. Okay? If you want me to put a polish on your edge, I can do that. So, and it's a pretty efficient system. This one is a convex Scandivex grind. Joshua can make, put any grind you want on it. Okay, 530 seconds is usually my steel for smaller knives. The thickness. I don't believe that a knife has to be super thick, especially if it's a smaller knife. The only knives that I believe need to be super thick are military-oriented knives that will definitely see or could see hard use, like prying open a door or beating up a 55-gallon drum or or digging, right? Digging for whatever, right? Treasure. Okay? Then you might want a, 1/4 inch, thick, beefy knife, 7-inch blade, blah, 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 blah. But other than that, for field use, general camp use, bushcraft, your knives don't have to be thick steel, right? I think that's a myth, right? It's a myth. And guys are starting to figure that out now, I think, right? Okay, so there's the Little Hawk Necker. Here's the sheath I built for it. Now, all these knives that you're looking at are mine. These are the knives that the knife makers made for me, the prototype, okay? So usually it's the very first knife of its kind. So this is the very first one he ever made, okay? And it'll look like this. Josh has the specs. He has the concept drawings, and, whatever. All right, black brick KYDEX, hex cam, green hex cam. I got a standard mini compass on there. They're not super expensive, but they work, okay? You got to watch out ordering off-brand stuff, right? I know where to go to get the compasses that work well, right? But they also have compasses out there on the internet that look just like this, might be a different color or whatever, that don't work. You get them and the needle just sits there. The disc just sits there. This one has a rotating bezel, right? And it actually works. I mean, it rotates. Some of them don't, okay? So you got to be careful. A lot of flim-flammy stuff going on out there, So, okay? So there's that. Now, I kept it as a necker. You can wear it as a belt carry or whatever. We'll get into that. I put a flip-out ferro rod on it. So basically, to use it, you just flip it out. It's under tension, so it's not going anywhere, right? Use the spine of the knife in this case. It's a nice, flat 90-degree, sharp spine. Start your fire, right? And then always clockwise. Then you put it back, right? And it's ready for the next time you need it. It does not affect the knife hanging around your neck. It just doesn't. I don't feel it, right? But it's very useful. It's a versatile tool to have in the field. You will get a fire if you have a ferro rod and you know how to use it. Okay, Okay, so there's that. Little Hawk Necker. This is a favorite of mine. I love it. I wear it all the time. This is not my only necker. I'll show you another one here in a second. But as far as my designs are concerned, bam. And I consider the design to be a collaboration between me and the knife maker that's making it for you. Okay? So the rest of that is he makes the knife for you, right? Sends it to me, and you and I work on a sheath system together for it. Okay? That's usually how it works with my designs that other knife makers make. Usually. Okay? With Josh, yeah. Right? Okay? And then you and I work on a sheath system. If you want a belt carry, I'll make you a belt carry. If you want a dangler, I'll make you a dangler. I've done all sorts of stuff with this knife that guys have well, Josh, I think he's only built a couple of these thus far. But when Brian Sells was making them, I did all kinds of stuff for guys, right? If I can find photographs, I'll roll them in. But, man, I have thousands of photographs out there of my sheath systems. They're everywhere, and I just don't know where to go to get them. You know what I mean? I have giant files of photos, but I got to look through. And it might take me an hour to find a photo for that knife in a specific configuration, so I might not even try that. Okay, so that's the Little Hawk Necker. Great knife. It feather sticks well. It's a strong, nimble, spry, very cool knife, right? It's got a nice pommel on the back with a lanyard hole. Okay, and you can make minor changes to the design of the knife. If you don't want the pommel on the back, Josh will leave it off. He'll grind it off, or just won't put it there, you know. Okay? What you decide for your knife is up to you. These are custom knife and sheath systems. You can't get them anywhere else. They're custom, right? So, if you've always wanted something like that, now you know where to go to get it. If you don't like any of my designs, I think you're out of luck. You'll have to go with someone else's design and have them send me the knife. Josh will do that too with his own designs. If you want a nice KYDEX sheath for one of Josh's designs, he'll make the knife for you and send it to me, and then I'll send it to you when the sheath is finished. Okay? Bam. There's that one. Okay. Next one. This is the Viper Necker. Okay, the Viper Necker. This one is also a Scandi Vex, right? You can have a flat grind, you can have a Scandi grind, you can have a Scandi Vex, you can have a convex, whatever you want. Josh will make whatever you want. He's versatile. He's good at what he does. That's why I work with him. He's good. Okay? These scales are made by Voodoo Resins. So, Matt Peterson's company. Okay? I picked these scales to put on here because I saw another knife that he made that I thought was cool looking with those scales. It's got orange liners. Really nice. He did a great job. If he didn't, I wouldn't work with him. Right? So, the Viper Necker knife and sheath system. Okay? Again, 5/32, right? This one is 80 CRV2. Again, very comfortable in the hand. All my handles are comfortable. I designed from the ground up. The handle first. Got to be comfortable, or it irritates the hell out of my hand, right? Because I usually have a knife in my hand for 15, 20, 45 minutes, right? Depends on what I'm doing. But I like making stuff, you know? And it gets irritating if there's any hot spots on a knife. And usually there is. Well, I try to design no hot spots, no sharp edges, that kind of stuff. Okay? Another Necker. This is blood red carbon fiber. And this is, I call it the red and black bubble pattern. It looks like lava, like bubbles. Let's see. Kind of looks like this. Blam. It does have a name, but I call it the bubble, you know, red and black bubble pattern. Okay, lava bubbles or whatever. Okay, if you say that to me, then I'll know what you're talking about. Okay, got a faceplate on the front. The faceplate in this instance does more than just look good on there. It shores up the sheath for the same with this one. It shores up the sheath for the flip out ferro rod, because when you strike the ferro rod and you're holding on to the sheath as the handle, that is really comfortable, right? But you got to put a lot of pressure on it. And if you don't put something on the other side, sometimes the KYDEX will give a little bit, right? Because you usually got the knife out of the sheath, right? But it's just another strengthening feature, right? That, you know, even with the knife out of the sheath, you can strike that ferro rod, put that pressure on it without, you know, missing a beat. Okay? Now I have these quick snaps. I love them. I think they're great, right? I can modify these to make them, you know, tighter or looser, you know, harder to snap, unsnap. And if it's hard to unsnap, it's hard to get it to snap together too. So just keep that in mind. And I'll also do a double fisherman's knot if you want. I don't have any of those available, but 2 knots on either side, and they shift back and forth on the lanyard, so that when you pull it, it gets, yeah, when you pull it, the thing gets longer, and then when you stretch it, yeah, you stretch, yeah, you stretch the knots, right, one on either side, you pull it, the thing gets shorter. You pull from this end, and your knots go toward the center of the knot area, right? And that makes it bigger, right? Bigger, smaller, bigger. That's it, okay? So that's the Viper Necker. This one is also built by Joshua. A lot of my designs are built by Joshua Blankenship, okay? Him and I have a really good relationship. We're able to talk to each other. We're able to communicate without swollen heads, right? And I tell you, that's what it's all about in this game. If you got a swollen head, you're not going to be able to talk to people and work out ideas. And because, you know, people with swollen heads, their idea is the best. Well, Josh has got some really good ideas. So do I. And we, right? And we come together, we collaborate on custom knife and sheath systems. Okay? This is one of them. I will roll in some photos that may not be this knife. I'll roll in photos of knife and sheath systems. May not be my design for the knife or whatever, but I'll show you some of my work in this video. Okay? Alright, there's this one. Okay? Notice there's no rattle. The knife does not rattle inside my sheath systems or my sheaths. Okay, doesn't rattle. There's no play. You know, when it comes to noise discipline in the field, I believe in it. Right? There's no need, even if you're just out there playing around. There's no need for excessive noise. Just no need for it. Right? And if you're in a covert situation, right? Black Ops, CIA, sneaky spook stuff, right? Then you gotta be quiet, right? Noise discipline, light discipline. You guys know. Okay, there it is. Hope you like it. This is the Viper Necker. Okay? Now, let's go to the Viper EDC, okay? First thing I'll say about this knife and sheath system, the knife, okay? This knife is the prototype. It is a little different than the way he makes them now. The blade is a little different, okay? So the blades look like this, only bigger, okay? The way he makes them now. This one, I was trying something, okay? But we went back to that design, all right? I still love the knife. This one's CPM 3V, too. So, sharp as all get out. Convex grind on this one. Sharp, sharp, sharp. 90-degree spine. You know, he's got his little anchor in there. That's pretty cool, right? This one's got the same scales. What do they call this? Devil's Cut, I think. Something like that. Devil's Cut with linen micarta on either side. I think. I'm pretty sure. Okay. This one is 1/8 inch. Okay, instead of 5/32, 1/8 inch. Okay. And I think I was wrong about the Little Hawk. This one's 1/8 inch as well. It's 5/32 is a little bigger than 1/8 inch. Yeah, 1/8 inch. On all these, 1/8 inch. That's the thickness I like for knives under 6 inches. Is 5/32. My Delta Whiskey Infinity that LT Wright makes for me, that's always 5/32. It doesn't need to be any thicker. It is plenty thick, and these are CPM 3V, so that's even better, right? Okay, so there's that. What else we got here? Okay, Joshua Blankenship. This is the Spartan. The Spartan Custom Knife and Sheath System. Okay, they're all different. It's going to look the way you want it to look. Okay, this is all high-end custom work, right? It's like the best of the best, right? Doesn't get any more custom than this, right? You have pretty much full control. If Josh can do it, he will do it for you, right? But it's always best to look at his techniques, get a feel for how he does things, materials he uses, and then pick from that. Don't take him outside of his wheelhouse, because then you just open up a big can of worms. He can do it, though. I've seen him do it. I can, too. You can take me outside my wheelhouse, and then when you do that, it gets more expensive, too, because then it takes more time. All right? The Spartan. Now, this Spartan, is pretty much designed for a Raptor dangler system that clips into the belt clip. Okay? So basically, when I want to use the Raptor dangler, I know I got one here. Where the heck is it? I think it's down here. Alright, so let me get this. When I want to use the Raptor dangler assembly, right, that clips into the belt clip. These are combat lock belt clips. I also have tech locks. Clips in like this. Okay. I usually straighten out the belt clip first, though, and it makes it a dangler system. Okay. Just wanted to show you that. But right now, it's in belt carry. It's in 45-degree cross draw. Okay. And it's got that cant, right? And that cant, right? The angle of the belt clip, and it's on a mount plate. I'm a big mount plate guy. I'll explain that in a second. Gets that handle, forces it up in the air a little bit, so that at the very least that thing's riding horizontal on your belt. You ever notice that when the belt clip is just 90 degrees straight up and down, or it's further down the sheath, you ever notice that when you put it on your belt, the handle goes whoop, and it rides on your belt like this? That's no good. No good, right? So we try to combat that by, number one, giving you a mount plate. But you have to choose it. You have to say, Doug, I want a mount plate. So I have some versatility in mounting that belt clip. This mount plate allows this belt clip to get as far up on the sheath as I can get it, right? And that is super beneficial, trust me, because all the weight is in the handle on most knives, okay? And then there's I put other holes in here for molly lock clips, whatever you want, right? This is Recon KYDEX. pretty cool stuff. It's got those grid patterns on it. So, Spartan. This one's CPM 3V. It's got my hawk head pins. I had these made by a guy. I got a guy who makes these, you know. I go to my guy. Okay? 2 hawk head pins. Same thing on the other side. Ooh, it's like magic. It's magic. Base mount ferro rod. Now, this is just what I wanted on the sheath. You can have whatever you want. As long as it'll fit, right? As long as I can do it. Pick it. Say, hey, I want this one there. Will it fit? Or I want this, this, and this. Will all that fit? Can you get it to get on there and you know, make it so it all works together? I'll either say yes, or I'll say, you got to leave this off. It's just not going to work right, guy. And I'll give you that, you know, and I'll make recommendations and whatnot. So, all right. Neat looking pommel on there for whatever. Okay. This is a partial self-defense thing too, right? It's got that kind of like double handguard thing going on, right? Very comfortable handle. Very comfortable. That thing sits in the palm, and nobody could pull this knife out of your hand. It's not going to happen. Okay. The Spartan. The Spartan. Neat knife. I love this knife. I love it. Josh did a great job on it. He does a great job on it. If you want one, contact him. Joshua Blankenship at Ankura Knife Company. Ankura Knife Company. Okay, let's go with this guy. Okay, next one. This is the Switchback. I designed this for backpackers, campers, bushcrafters. It's got those finger grooves, right? Very secure purchase, very comfortable handle. It's all rounded, right? It's all rounded. Although there's enough flat area there so that thing's not doing this in your hand. Okay? That's important. I see a lot of knife makers, they'll make a completely round handle, and you know, especially if you get it wet or you get blood on your hands from field dressing or whatever, and that thing's slipping in your hand while you're using it, right? It happens, right? And, you know, you got to think about that stuff when you're designing a knife. Flat edges, but round. Okay, flat sides, I mean. Okay, this one is Cerakoted. Good stuff. I personally don't like coatings on my blades, but a lot of guys do, and hey, more power to you. Keeps that blade from rusting, because these are 80 CRV2 as well. You can have them in CPM 3V if you want. Any of these knives, Josh will make in CPM 3V or some other super steel if you want it, I guess. You have to work with him. He'll make the knife, then he'll send it to me, and you and I will work on shit. And it's surprisingly short. When he's done the knife, he sends it to me, and within a week or two, I'm making the sheath for you. I don't make you wait, right? Not long, anyway. Okay? I do this full time. So I have more time to do stuff for guys. And I get things out quicker, usually. This is Hulk Caged. That's what this is. Voodoo resins. I think they're some of their handles are cool looking. So that's what I picked. Okay? So there's the Switchback. Black brick KYDEX. Got that green super hex cam pattern with the yellow in it. Josh made me this to go with the knife. The handle for the ferro rod. Pretty cool. I didn't expect that. Josh is a good guy. You'll enjoy working with him. I do. Okay. It's got a voodoo dangler attachment point. So I can put a voodoo dangler on. It's a plate. Here's one here. Okay. There's a voodoo dangler plate. I can do a lot with this plate. I can make it a baldric attachment plate. I can make it a voodoo dangle. You can do all kinds of stuff with that, right? This is a small tech lock. There's that mount plate. Not all of my sheath systems have a mount plate on it. You have to ask for it. And that mount plate gives you attachment versatility with your belt clip. You can even put different belt clips on here. We have to work on that. You and I have to say, hey, I want to use this belt clip. I say, give me a picture of it, right? Or I got one here, or whatever. You know what I mean? And I'll make it so that it will accept your belt clip. I like combat lock belt clips and tech locks. They're my go-to clips. They're bomb-proof and they work. It's just that simple. This one's got a one of my strikers on it. Because when Josh first made this knife, because it had Cerakote on it, it wouldn't strike a ferro rod. Okay? You gotta keep that in mind. I took the coating off the spine. Worked just fine. Now I can strike a ferro rod with it. It does defeat the purpose of the rust prevention in that area. But I'm not a big coatings guy. I'd rather take care of my blades. I'm not that bad at it. Okay, so there's that. The Switchback. This is a convex grind. This one is. Okay? Full convex. What else we got? The Viper. The OG Viper. It's the OG Viper. Got 3 different Vipers. The Viper EDC, the Viper Necker, and the Viper OG. The OG Viper. Okay? There it is. Bam. This is where it all started. Right now, I have designed a knife that's kind of looks like this, but it's like over the top badass looking, right? So Josh is gonna be making those too. We don't even know what we're gonna call it yet. This is the Viper OG. These are carbon fiber scales. This one was made by Carson Falk. He doesn't make knives anymore, not that I know of. Okay? But Joshua Blankenship is making these now too. The Viper OG. Okay? This one's 5/32. It's got white liners. You can have whatever you want though. Saber Vex grind. I built 2 sheaths for this one. Something a little more compact, right? That has a molded belt loop on it, on a mount plate, right? Okay. I cut a bunch of half circles out to make it really light and cool looking. It's cool looking. Okay. It's got a flip out ferro rod with a lock. Okay, I put a lock on it. I can do this for you if you want. It doesn't need a lock. It's got that bushing that holds it. But if you want a lock on it, we can put a lock on it. If it'll fit. Just because you see it on a certain sheath doesn't mean it's going to fit on yours. Like my slide lock that I put on here, right? The slide lock that makes the retention tighter. Sometimes you can't fit it on there, right? But generally, you're not going to have a problem with retention on one of our sheath systems, okay? You're not going to have a problem with it. All right? So there's the Viper OG. Cool looking knife. Very comfortable handle, right? Now, the last guy who had one of these made by Josh, okay? So he said to me, hey, I don't want that portion in the back, this sweep right here. He just wanted it straight back, right? So no, he just wanted the handle, right, to come straight down, not up like that. And Josh said, okay, no problem. Let's build it that way for you. He may have even done away with the thumb ramp too. All right. Viper OG. And then here's the other sheath. This one's got a Phoenix flashlight on it. Actually, I took it out and laid it somewhere. Okay. This is Cryptek Typhon. This is the old Cryptek Typhon. They don't make it like this anymore. Matter of fact, you just can't get it. I have like half a sheet left. Okay. The pattern is much more pronounced. White, right? And light gray. Now it's like all super dark gray, and it's hard to see the pattern. I don't know if I got it here. No. Anyway, they changed it because guys were like, hey, it's not subdued enough. You can see it too easy in the woods, and you know. So they changed it. And they didn't keep this either. They said, so this one's got a tabby dangler. I used to do my danglers like this, okay? I don't do it this way anymore because, I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of one layer of KYDEX as, I don't know what you would call it. It just doesn't, I didn't feel comfortable with it. I had one guy break one, right? He flew over the handlebars of his ATV, and a stick or something came down right in here and broke it. It broke right here. It didn't even break up here. It broke down here, okay? So I changed the design. Now it only has one screw. Now, that dictates that you have to make sure you tighten your screws up. Man, I don't even have... I can't believe it. I don't have a voodoo dangler here at all. None. Here, well, here's one. This is somebody else. This is a Leather Elite that I just finished for a bushcrafter, for a guy. This is the voodoo dangler, okay? You can have me Loctite this screw and it won't come out. But I generally don't because I want you to be able to take things off the sheath. Just make sure that periodically you check your screws. They're screws. They will loosen up over time a little bit, okay? So if you want the best possible performance, just check your screws once in a while, okay? There's no problem with it. It's strong as heck, right? I wouldn't do it if it wasn't good to go. You know what I mean? So that's the voodoo dangler, okay? This is leather. Usually I have scuba webbing, which is, you know, this is terrible. I don't have anything ready. This is scuba webbing. Thick, right? It's thick. It's rigid. Good stuff. Really good stuff. Weatherproof. You don't have to treat it. Nothing. And a lot of guys like it. But some guys like that traditional. I call this the Gunsmoke sheath. Isn't that cool? It's like, it's a fine gun holster leather. Oh, yeah. Best of both worlds. Leather Elite. Only here at Yellow Hawk Customs. That knife will cut. Okay. Boom. This is the Delta Whiskey Backcountry. This is a beast. This is a wilderness survival knife. Built for heavy use. 3/16 inch thick. CPM 3V. Choke up choil for smaller tasks. You can choke back. 3-position handle. Right? Good chopper. Just all around survival knife. Good hefty blade, nice belly for skinning bigger animals, right? Got that pyro plug on it. Now, this one is made by Mike Wallace at Wallace Edge Tools. Long story short, he's not doing custom knives anymore. He can't at this portion of his at this point in his life. Okay. Joshua Blankenship is now making these. Okay. I don't have one of his here, so I got to show you this one, but it's going to look very much like this. Right? Shape. You can have any scales you want, steel, whatever. I like CPM 3V. Okay? It'll handle 3/16 with heavy, hard work. Okay? Delta Whiskey Backcountry. I'm looking into having this knife made as a production knife. Just haven't decided who I'm going to ask to make it yet. Okay? It's a bigger knife. I mean, it's hefty, right? It's not long. It's not real long. It's got a like 6-inch blade, I think. Yeah, 6.5-inch blade. 6 3/4, something like that. Okay? This one's got a flat grind. You can do it in a convex if you want, or a Scandi, whatever you want. Whatever you want. White liners. Okay? Compression pins. Zach can do these too. I'm sorry. Josh can do these too. These compression pins. So if you ask him, maybe he'll do them for you. It won't have this. This is Mike Wallace's medallion. And it will not have a pyro plug. He can put a dimple in it, but it won't have this brass piece. These are exclusively Mike Wallace's design. I won't take that away from him. Okay? And then this is the sheath I made for it. Now this is predominantly a pack carry sheath for me. Pack carry knife. Goes on the outside of my pack with a molly lock clip. Mount plate. You can put different clips on here. Okay? I have a standalone diamond rod sharpener. Especially with CPM 3V, you gotta have diamonds. Gotta have diamonds to sharpen it. Okay? Hey, if I say something in a video that you do not agree with, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. You can disagree with me. I mean, it's just my opinion. You gotta have diamonds for CPM 3V. Nothing else cuts it that well. So my mantra is diamonds cut steel. Period. Right? All right, there it is. I got a little artistic with this one. Kind of goofy. You know, whimsical. But you can wear this one on your belt if you want. You can put a belt clip on it or whatever. All right? That's the Delta Whiskey Backcountry. Let me give you one more good look at it. Delta Whiskey Backcountry. There's the system. Knife and sheath system. Okay? Oh, you got to remember this. Big wide blade, big wide sheath. There's no way around it. No way around it. Okay, moving on. What's next? There's one knife that I have that's not here. I'll tack it on the end if I remember. The Backpacker. That's a pretty popular one. I can't believe I don't have it sitting here. This is the Talon. Bam! Okay? This is a survival system. Okay? This is a huge, no, not huge, big, honking, wood chopping, bushcrafting. That's a Scandi grind right there. Nice and, you know, shallow angle. Feather sticks real well. Chops real well. It's a Scandi Vex grind, right? Makes it nice and strong at the tip there. You could do smaller tasks here. You can strike a ferro rod here. Chopper. Multi-position handle. Really a beast. She's a beast. Okay? You can build shelters with this. That's what it's for. Building. Surviving. Right? Got the grizzly coming at you. Step to the side, off comes the head. Right? Right? Hey, I've done it twice. All right, anyway. Joke. Survival system. It's got an SE tool pouch on the front. That's what I chose to put on mine. Okay? This is Cryptek Neptune, Coyote Brown basket weave. The handle is also Voodoo resins. They had to make these special for Josh to get that multi-positional handle out of it. Okay? He did a great job on this. This one is 80 CRV2. You can have it in CPM 3V if you want. Just keep in mind, CPM 3V is a bit more expensive than regular high carbon steels. But, hey, if you want the performance steels, you got to pay for them. Okay? This is also a pack mount system. Look, another mount plate. Look at that. Mount plate. Very important. It's a game changer, right? You can do anything, get any versatility out of a mount plate. Okay? And don't get me started on, well, just make a pancake style sheath. Nah, they're too wide. They're too wide, too bulky, too cumbersome, right? The nature of a pancake style sheath is it's wide. Wider than your typical taco style. That's why I pretty much only do these taco style, because pancake, in order to put the eyelets on both sides, you got to have more KYDEX. Makes it wider, more heavier, cumbersome. I just don't like them. It's just never been a thing of mine. If you like them, great. Great. Go to Joe Schmo and have him make you one. All right? I believe in what I'm doing. I believe in what I'm doing. So, okay. So there's the Raptor. You can put a lot in this tin. There's a tin in here. You can see this is where I usually put a ferro rod if you opt for a pouch on your sheath. This is a mount plate, right? The pouch is on the mount plate. You can take everything off. Okay, it's on there, super, super strong, not going anywhere. Okay, but that's where I usually put the ferro rod, in the webbing. It's great, works great, doesn't flop around, it's easy to get to, blah, 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 blah. All right, there it is. Oh, she's a beast. The Talon. Okay, who's next? I think I only see one more. I don't know whether I should show this one or not, though. I will. I will. This is the Delta Whiskey Farnhawk. Okay? This is a pretty old design of mine. Okay? This is a strictly bushcrafter that's got a self-defense flair to it. Okay? It's got a little bit of a hand guard here, right? Nice pointy blade. Got that Persian something. Persian, I forget what they call it. Persian spine, Persian welt, Persian grind. I can't remember. Ask my buddy Eric Hansen. He knows what it is. If that's what this is. I'm pretty sure it is, though. Persian, I don't know, something Persian something. Put it in the comments. Unless I'm wrong. I could be. Hey, once I thought I was wrong, I was mistaken. All right, there it is. This is a hand-forged knife made by Farnsworth, Sam Farnsworth at Firekeeper Forge. Boy, I'm good. Firekeeper Forge. He makes this one. It's the Farnhawk. These are walnut burl scales. ADCR V2 steel, hand hammered, forged. This is forged steel. Making a knife by forging is a totally different knife than most knives that are made nowadays. Okay? You're either a forger or you're a CNC guy or a stock removal guy, that kind of thing. Okay? Some guys do both. You still got the hammer marks in there. See it? That's pretty cool. All right? The Farnhawk. Tapered tang, too. I didn't even ask him to taper. He just did it. So all these that he makes have tapered tangs. Okay? That's a big deal. They're hard to do. Okay. There's the sheath. Got a flashlight on it. They don't make these anymore. Instead of these, I put the E12V2 version 2 on. Okay, a little bit bigger than this light, but along the same size. If your knife is big enough, I could put one on here. This knife isn't a big knife. It's not huge. Okay, it's like 4.5 inch blade. Very comfortable handle. Okay, I like hardwood handles because they're more quiet, you know, quieter than G10 or the resin. Yeah, if the wood is not stabilized, if the pine cone is not stabilized or whatever, you might have problems with it. Heck, I've seen problems with handles that were stabilized. Water got in there and it started peeling up at the edges. Natural material is not like synthetic stuff. G10, micarta, the resins, that kind of stuff, right? Natural materials are, water is their enemy. So if you decide to have a natural material like a burl, like a walnut burl. Now this knife is fairly old, 4 or 5 years. Okay? And it has stood the test of time. And I've had it in bad weather, minus 20 degree backpacking trips. Yeah, it's stood test of time. So, Sam's good. He did a great job on it. I love this knife. He did a great job. So if you're interested in this, contact Sam Farnsworth at Firekeeper Forge. He'll make the knife and send it to me for a sheath. Unless you want a leather sheath for it. Don't get a leather sheath for it. Gotta get KYDEX. So anyway, okay. Really, I didn't design it for leather. Don't do it. Do what you want. I like KYDEX. It's my thing. It's foolproof. Leather, you got to take care of it. It dry rots. It stretches. It all kinds of stuff. It gets wet. And when it gets wet, it takes a year to dry, especially in the field. If you get a leather sheath wet in the field, it's going to stay wet till you come home. Okay? And I don't care what kind of treatment you put on your leather. If it gets rained on, eventually the water's going to get into the leather. Eventually it's going to happen. Okay? With KYDEX, you don't have to worry about any of that. And I don't want to hear, what about freezing? The blade will freeze inside. Once in a while that might happen. Keep your blades dry. Right? Don't leave your knife out in the rain when at night it's going to drop down to 20 degrees. Right? Just common sense. Murphy's Law. Hate it. Okay, there it is. There's our logo. I can do this too. Put our logo in a mount plate or a face plate. That little mount plate is on there and makes it stronger so that I can strike this bad boy. Okay? This is a flip-out ferro rod. This is Ray Mears' favorite ferro rod. It's called, hold on, Fire Flash. Fire Flash. He loves them. At least that's what I know, right? He may have a different one now that he likes. But Fire Flash, they still sell them. They're like the Swiss Light My Fire, Swedish fire steels. Okay. Mount plate. Look at that mount plate. You notice most of my personal sheaths have a mount plate on the back. Small tech lock, right? Nice and compact. This one actually, all right, now hold on. Let me show you this. Hold on. Actually turns. Look at that. Boom. 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 Right? Okay? I can set it up like that for you. It's magic. It's just magic. It's hawk magic. All right? I can set it up that way for you. Okay? And I'll send you an extra bushing, right? Because if you're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, you'll wear out that bushing over time. And you just put another one in. No big deal. And it's nice and tight. It'll stay there. Ain't going anywhere. You know? Okay. That's it. I think that's it. Got one more to show you. Okay. Last custom knife and sheath system collaboration between myself and a knife maker. Okay. It just seems like Josh Blankenship makes a lot of my designs. It just worked out that way. I work with other knife makers, right? But he makes most of my designs. So I'm working with another knife maker right now where I just gave him the design for the knife. So we'll see how that works out. So, see what we got here. This is the Backpacker Custom Knife and Sheath System. Okay. This is how I wanted it for a specific carry. Okay. But I want to show you the light that's on it first. Okay. Okay. This is the Aurora. I find these highly effective in the field. Okay. They're good lights. I've tested them, and retested them. Okay. I don't find any fault with them. They're not hugely expensive either. And they are the perfect size and shape for a smaller knife. Okay? Great little lights. Small. They're small. Okay? Now, when I first started testing these, I thought this button was a little small. Okay? But actually, it's not. It's just not. You'll see. You'll see. You might think, oh, that's going to be hard to press. It's not. As long as I give you enough room to press it, right? And it goes up to like 300 lumens or something. They're really bright at the highest setting, right? And it's rechargeable. Yeah. Imagine that. You guys that went, Doug, is it rechargeable? No, it takes a battery. They're easy to get, man. Easy to get. Oh, no, I got to have rechargeable. Yeah, but you can get these batteries anywhere. AA, AAA, you can get them anywhere. Grocery store, your mother's kitchen drawer, whatever. These, what happens if you lose your cord? Or, you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? It's just not as convenient. What if you don't have power? Batteries you can take anywhere, right? Whatever. Okay. So people like what they like. So let's put this puppy back in here. Okay. What are we doing? Okay. All right. There it is. The Aurora. You can put it in either way. Actually, this is on for belt carry right now, so I got to put it in the other way. So just put it in there. Put it in there. All right, then put that on. Okay, there it is. It's set up for the way I like to carry it. Now, this is a carry system for shorts, for wearing shorts, okay? So basically what I got here is, I got shorts on, right? This, it has a small ulti-clip, right? Just hangs there like this, and I got a cross draw, right? Cross draw. Hangs on the outside, okay? If you want an IWB, I can hook it up for that. If you want a belt clip on it, I can do that. But notice what else it has on it. Yep, that's a mount plate. This one's a full back mount plate. Okay, because I wanted to be able to have versatility. I can put a molly lock on this, a belt clip, ulti clips, discreet carry clips. These. I have these too. I have discreet carry clips, if I can find them. What the heck, Jack? Alright, discreet carry clips. This is Model 4. These are good clips too. I find these, for IWB, I find these more comfortable. Not a whole lot more, but, you know. But if you want that super retention, that ulti clips can't be beat. But I like the discreet carry clips too. I got both. Okay. This is the backpacker. CPM 3V, this one. Okay. This is the backpacker, 1/8 inch. Doesn't have to be thick. Got that serpent tape on it. Okay. These scales were supposed to be Sure Touch, G10, and rubber. We got the wrong scales. So I said, just make it anyway, right? I'll just put some grip tape on it. It looks the same as the Sure Touch and G10 with rubber, right? But this is just G10. Okay? So we bought the wrong scales. No big deal. Very comfortable handle. Nice small knife. Kind of looks like the Little Hawk Necker. It's a little bit bigger than the Little Hawk. Just a little. A little bit bigger than the Little Hawk. 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 I was told that I was scary. I'm a scary guy. On my videos and stuff. I was told that. Until you get to know me, right? So I'm trying to be more upbeat, right? Keep my beard trimmed so I don't look so gruffy. That hurt my feelings. Anyway, here you go. There it is. It didn't hurt my feelings. Brother. You know who you are. Slash. Okay, anyway. Really, no big deal. I don't even hardly think about it anymore. Well, not much, but, you know. Oh, maybe a little. I'm joshing. Okay, so there it is. The Backpacker Custom Knife and Sheath System. He's sold quite a few of these so far. These knives. He's made a lot of them for customers, right? I love this knife. This is probably my most used field knife when I need something small, okay? Because it's got versatility with that. What is this? What is it? Let's say it together. Mount plate, right? It's got versatility for mounting options, right? Now all this is, I make all this by hand, okay? So it costs a little more to make it up like this, but this is stuff, this is custom work that you pretty much can't get anywhere else. Nobody's willing to do all this work, you know? But I'm sure there's a couple guys out there that do. But anyway, this is Cryptek Raid with black brick, black basket weave for this one. Okay, remember the Aurora flashlight, Aurora. Okay, the Aurora. I like them. Good lights. Good lights. Hasn't failed me yet. Right? As far as handheld flashlight goes, and something that really fits well on one of my sheath systems for a smaller knife, It's perfect. It's perfect. All right, guys, that's it. These are carbon fiber lanyard holes and pins for this. Carbon fiber. All right. No wriggle, no rattle, no rhythm, no roll. Okay. There it is. That's it. That's pretty much, I probably forgot one or two, but that's pretty much all my designs as collaborations with other knife makers. Okay. I don't make knives myself. I design them. So I have to have other knife makers do them. And then we have a symbiosis going to where we sell custom knife and sheath systems, right? If it's not for you, it's not for you. I get it. I get it. But I know there's a lot of guys out there that love this kind of stuff because it keeps me busy. Keeps me busy anyway. Josh busy. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching. This is Doug Wilson from Yellow Hawk Custom KYDEX. Yellow Hawk Custom Outdoors. And we'll see you. We'll see you on the next one. Please like, share, subscribe. And think about us once in a while. Drop us a note. Drop us a line. Say, hey Doug, how you doing? Just thought I have a couple of guys, and well, actually quite a few, who just contact me out of the blue. Say, hey Doug, man, I'm just wondering how you're doing. Blah, 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 blah. Right? I'm not much on the small talk, but I do it. I'll do it. Okay, so now, last but not least, is the Delta Whiskey Infinity. Bam. Okay. Now this knife has quite the history, quite the pedigree. Over the last 5 years or so. The first lot was made by L.T. Wright, and he did such a great job, I asked him to do a run in CPM 3V. So they were just finished about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks. And I have them now. I have all the knives that everyone ordered. It was a pre-order. So in order to get one of these, you have to pre-order it. And it's been a while because LT Wright is busy, right? And I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have doing this knife. He does an awesome job. Outstanding. He matched my drawings perfectly. I mean, he did a really good job. I am very impressed. This is a #1 high quality top shelf blade. That's all there is to it. It's beautiful. He did a great job. And by the time it's all said and done, we'll have 50 of them with sheaths on them for different clients around the world. I have a few clients in other countries that want them too. So anyway, bow drill divot. I mean, it's packed. This is a bushcrafter, camp knife, wilderness EDC, right? It's jack of all trades type thing, and you can skin with it. All right. You can field dress. I've done rabbits with it, so doesn't get much smaller than that as far as edible. Okay. Delta Whiskey Infinity. I named it the Infinity because it does everything. It literally does everything. You can even chop with it. Got just enough heft that you can chop, small branch. You're not chopping a tree down with it. Well, actually, I've done that too. So, there it is. And then here's the sheath system I built for mine. Now, these are G10 and rubber Sure Touch scales, okay? These are more expensive, quite a bit more expensive than regular micarta, okay? So if regular micarta is $15, these are $65, these handles, okay? And the reason they're so special in my book, I tell you, there are quite a few people that don't like them, especially the makers, because they're hard to shape, right? But once they're shaped and done, they got the grip. You know what I mean? they're grippy, whether your hands are wet or not, right? So there it is. Short Touch G10 and rubber. They also have a G10 version that looks just like this with no rubber in it. Okay, so you gotta be specific. G10 and rubber. Okay. Really ergonomic handle. I mean, this thing is this is, hands down my favorite knife. Of all the knives I've ever owned, this is hands down my favorite. It's such a utilitarian knife. And you know what? If you don't see it, that's okay. It's okay. A lot of people do. So it's not for everyone. It's expensive. This round was $400 just for the knife. Okay? And that's COVID. They were going to be $300 until COVID. It boosted it up that much for materials. All right? So there it is, Delta Whiskey Infinity. There are numerous videos on YouTube about this knife, right? I think Chris Tanner did one. I did a bunch of them. A couple other people. All right? Because I didn't like give them out to reviewers. That's too much of a loss. I'll lend them to viewers if they want to. I mean, I'll lend you mine. If you're a reviewer and you want to review this knife, I'll lend you mine. All right? And you can review it. But they're just too pricey. I can't afford to give out, 5 or 6 of these things. I just can't afford it. All right? And Chris Tanner, he was cool, man. He said, just give me your knife, I'll review it and send it right back to you. My man. Chris is a good guy. Okay? You can see here, the spine is rounded a little bit here, but it's 90 degrees up in this area. So you got plenty of room to scrape and strike and, all that. Okay? Reverse Tonto point, real strong. We went with a Scandi edge. Here's the reason. Okay? Scandi edges are great woodworkers. The best. Okay? And the way you make that edge stronger is to put a convex micro bevel on the end of it. Just a little bit of steel is a step up in strength. You know what I mean? So you put a convex micro bevel on a Scandi edge and you have a stronger edge. I've never chipped one of these. You know what I mean? Just by using it. Now, I was chopping. Oh, actually, it happened to me a couple times. Chopping, right? And dummy me, the wood slipped out from under it, and I did chip on some rocks. That's going to do that to any steel. Okay? That was with the 01 version. The first one was 01 tool steel. All right? This one is CPM 3V. Okay? But, guys, they're already sold. I just found out the other day that LT Wright has a few more blanks if I want them. So if you're interested and you're not on my pre-order list, get on it, right? Contact me. There is a $300 deposit for these. Okay? You can't for these, for the 10 that he's got left, if you order one of them, you get green micarta with coyote liners or black micarta with coyote liners. He said he's not going to do the Short Touch on those last 10. Okay? So let me know if you want one. Just contact me. Text me. 443-315-6033. Okay? There it is. Delta Whiskey Infinity. And here's the sheath system. This is my sheath system. You can have whatever you want. Guys are putting pouches on these. Guys are putting ferro rod, a light, diamond rod sharpener here, small Altoids tin or live fire on the back, right? So, Raptor dangler, right? This is the Raptor dangler. I have two types. I have the Voodoo dangler too. Why? Because... Okay. This is the Voodoo dangler. It's actually attached to the sheath. Okay. I don't Loctite any of these screws. Make sure you tighten your screws once in a while. They're screws. No more needs to be said. They're screws. Okay. So that's the Voodoo dangler, and it is cantable. You can angle that any way you want, and it'll stay there. You just tighten it up. Okay. Raptor. This is the Raptor dangler. This one clips into the belt clip. All right. I think I already showed this, but see, and this can stay on your belt, and then you got belt carry in three other positions. All right. Put it back. Snap it closed. Boom. There it is. Okay. All right, guys. That's it. Thanks for watching the video. Please like, share, subscribe, and do all that neat YouTube stuff. Help me grow the channel. I've been stuck at like 4,500 viewers, subscriptions for 2 years. It's just the channel's not getting any bigger. And you know, the funny thing is all it takes is a boop, subscribe. That's all it takes. You know what I mean? No money, no commitment, nothing. And the subscribe button is like right there on the right hand side of the screen. You know, just go boop, and it'll show you. Push the subscribe button, and that helps me out. I appreciate it. Okay. All right, guys. You guys have a good day, weekend, year, whatever. See ya.